A nightmare in downtown.
We just weren't quite sure how long he was out there for because he was really cold.
A 3-year-old child walks away from a daycare center wandering the streets alone. Plus a race to the finish.
I'm excited. I'm ready to get to work.
The election results, while not final, are becoming more clear, pointing to a new Billings mayor. And the perfect punt.
It took some weird, crazy bounces in the air and then rolled in.
From far, far away, the Rocky goalie creates a golden highlight. The MTN 10 o'clock news starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. Tonight, a Billings mom is thankful after a terrifying situation was saved thanks to a Good Samaritan. She dropped her 3-year-old son off at a downtown daycare Monday, only to learn he'd escaped. Fortunately, the boy was found walking alone on the downtown streets with a woman picking him up and bringing him to safety. Our Hannah Pettiferi has more on a situation that could have been much worse.
It's a call any mother would fear. Their child missing from daycare. But Grace Chancellor, who works at a nearby daycare, was in the right place at the right time.
I was shocked by that because I'm just you expect when you drop a kid off at daycare that they are taken care of.
A 3-year-old little boy walked away from the Learning Grove daycare Monday. A passerby saw the child wandering the streets during the brisk morning rush hour and brought him to Grace.
She had a concerned face, so we let her in. And she asked if this was one of our kids, and she found him at the corner of the street. So we just weren't quite sure, how long he was out there for, because he was really cold. His hands were cold, and so we were just very concerned on how long.
Grace and the teachers at Little Llama Learners made sure little man stayed safe.
We warmed him up because he was cold out there, and he got to play with the kids. We give our kids breakfast when they first come in, and so we weren't sure if he had anything, so we were just okay, there's some food, and played, and our kids treated him really good.
MTN did speak to the owner of the Learning Grove, Shelby Kaczynski, and she provided a long statement saying in part, "This incident has sparked meaningful changes within our organization, and we are dedicated to rebuilding trust, strengthening our systems, and upholding the highest standards of safety and care for every child in our facility." Because Grace says a child walking away just shouldn't happen.
There's no way for them to escape because most daycares you're either buzzed in or a teacher has to open the door for you because it's locked on both ends.
In Billings, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.
A former Butte EMT lost his license to practice in 2023 after numerous allegations of sexual harassment and misconduct surfaced while he was director of Powell County's Emergency Medical Service. He's now facing a rape charge out of Yellowstone County. John Joseph Carlbaum is accused of raping a teen girl twice in the past 3 years. She told investigators that Carlbaum was a friend of her mother's. The alleged rape occurred on July 1st with a Billings Police Department school resource officer reporting it in September after the girl came forward. Carlbaum voluntarily surrendered his advanced emergency medical technician's license in 2023 after the State Board of Medical Examiners reviewed several complaints of unprofessional conduct with subordinates and adult students. Carlbaum did not face any criminal charges in connection with those allegations. Some of Billings' municipal election results are still up in the air tonight with several hundred votes yet to be tabulated. That includes the very tight race for Billings' next mayor. Now, at this time last night, Mike Nelson led Jennifer Owen by just 4 votes. That gap's a little more comfortable tonight for Nelson, now 185 votes. Well, in addition to a new mayor, 5 city council members were also chosen last night, and there were some surprising results. Well, city council is a nonpartisan race. 3 of the 5 winners were not endorsed by the local Republican Party, a departure from previous elections. Charlie Kleps digs deeper into the results.
As results poured in Tuesday night, anticipation steadily grew.
That it's a real nail biter. It's tense.
A mayoral race with 4 candidates quickly whittled down to 2. Mike Nelson and Jennifer Owen were separated by just 4 votes at one point Tuesday.
It's been a great roller coaster ride.
That roller coaster lasted until Wednesday morning when Nelson's lead stretched to 185 votes And he thanked residents for trusting him to be the city's next mayor.
It's an honor to have people vote for you. It's a humbling experience.
But while Nelson is now celebrating, others are not.
Of course, I was disappointed because we were really hoping to get that conservative voice back on city council.
Pam Purinton with the Yellowstone County Republican Committee endorsed Jennifer Owen for mayor, along with 5 candidates up for city council, usually in alignment with those who go on to win.
Generally speaking, Yellowstone County Billings is considered conservative.
But Tuesday night, that didn't ring true. Only 2 of the 5 Republican-endorsed candidates won their election.
We endorse candidates that we've vetted. Some of these people we've known for years.
City government positions have long been nonpartisan.
It's a nonpartisan campaign because you need to put the needs of people and the city first.
But endorsements have long carried weight, and what happened here in Billings has happened before.
Politics is a little bit of a pendulum.
Lee Banville with the University of Montana says it isn't uncommon to see a shift following big elections.
The first elections that happen after that big national election tend to be sort of anti whoever's in charge.
And that often has a trickle-down effect impacting state and local elections. Historically, the impact isn't long-lasting.
It's hard to draw a big sweeping conclusion. I certainly wouldn't project this any further ahead than maybe the next election.
Regardless, Nelson says he's ready to serve.
I'm excited. I'm ready to get to work.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
But again, all of these results are unofficial and will be until next week. Now, this comes after a new state law required voters to put their birth years on the voting envelopes. That change created early confusion, causing hundreds of ballots to be rejected. As of this evening, nearly 700 of those ballots have yet to be counted in Yellowstone County. The ballot rejection rate in an election like this is usually 0.75%, but this year that number more than doubled to 2.28%. And Billings isn't alone. Election officials across the state are struggling to support voters, calling each one trying to ensure that their vote counts.
They have a lot of good company across Yellowstone County and across the state of people who also didn't see that on their ballot.
The elections office will tabulate the resolved ballots Monday at 3 o'clock.
Lots of things to check out in the night sky, if you can see them. There's some haze out there in a moment. We'll take a look live, but right now, just a reminder, we have a full moon out there tonight. Some of the clouds are hanging around, so you can check it out. The second of 3 super moons in a row that we're going to see. The last one next month. It won't be quite as bright, so check it out. Plus, we have a chance to see the northern lights on Thursday and Friday, assuming again that we could see something through the cloud cover, because we're going to continue to see our weather pattern develop. More windy periods, that's already started in the mountain foothills to the west of Billings. Livingston, you've been feeling that this evening. Some chilly temperatures for portions of the region, and I'll tell you about the possibility of snow.
The Supreme Court heard arguments today over President Trump's sweeping tariff policies. That case revolves around the president's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 and whether it's an overreach of executive power. Erica Brown has the latest from the Supreme Court.
Inside the Supreme Court Wednesday, the Trump administration argued the president has the legal authority to impose sweeping tariffs on foreign countries without congressional approval.
We don't contend that what's being exercised here is the power to tax. It's the power to regulate foreign commerce. These are regulatory tariffs. They are not revenue-raising tariffs.
President Trump relied on a 1977 emergency law known as the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose the tariffs. But several justices, including some conservatives, questioned the administration's interpretation of that law and where to draw the line.
What would prohibit Congress from just abdicating all responsibility to regulate foreign commerce, for that matter, declare war, to the president?
We don't contend that he could do that. If it did.
Why not?
Attorney Neil Katyal argued on behalf of the small businesses who brought the lawsuit.
The justices ask tough questions, but fair questions.
These tariffs don't punish foreign governments. They punish American small businesses, American workers, and American families.
President Trump has called this case, quote, life or death for our country, and warned a ruling against him could cause economic disaster and impact tens of billions of dollars his administration says it raised in tariff revenue. Legal experts say this appears to be the first time conservative justices expressed skepticism on one of President Trump's major policies.
If you listen to the arguments today, I think the betting is that the Trump administration did not persuade the court of its position.
The court is expected to rule next year. Erica Brown, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
The head of the FAA and the Transportation Secretary announced that because of the federal government shutdown, they'll reduce air traffic by 10% across 40 high-volume markets starting Friday morning. Federal officials say the move is aimed at maintaining safety as the agency grapples with air traffic control staffing shortages. Air controllers are now working unpaid amid the funding stalemate, the shortfall in staffing causing delays across the country.
Trying to lean into the fact that when we see pressures building in these 40 markets, we just can't ignore it, and we're not going to wait for a safety problem to truly manifest itself when the early indicators are telling us we can take action today to prevent, things from deteriorating.
Officials are meeting with airline leaders to determine how to implement the temporary reduction in traffic.